Hello, dear students. Today we're going to speak about types of assessment. So we teach our students for the whole year or for the whole course, and of course, while teaching and at the end of the teaching, we should assess them in order to clarify their knowledge. So let's speak about the kinds of assessment and evaluation. They are diagnostic, formative, and summative assessment. So, assessment and evaluation. In this case, we could see here differences and similarities for gathering, summarizing, interpreting, and of course, in assessment, we use data to decide, and for the evaluation, use data to determine the knowledge of the students, and for the assessment, direction for actions, and for the evaluation, the extent to which an action was successful. So, diagnostic assessment and evaluation. What is it? A distinct form of measurement. Its purpose is to ascertain prior to instructions each student's strengths, weaknesses, knowledge, and skills. And establishing these permits the instructor to remediate students and adjust the curriculum to meet each learner's unique needs. So when we use diagnostic assessment, we should use diagnostic assessment at the beginning of the educational course because we should find out the level of our student, and with the help of this we will make our curriculum in order to teach our students um, for further education. So, keeping diagnostic instrument for comparison and further reference enables teachers and students to determine progress and future directions. It means when we test our students before the courses, we will analyze his level of knowledge, and um, during the education and at the end of the education or teaching our students, we will find out the progresses. And tools such as the writing strategies, questionnaire, and the reading interest attitude inventor can provide support for instructional decisions. So the next diagnostic assessment assists teachers to gain, as we have mentioned before, understanding of current situation and knowledge about how to improve students' knowledge and required sources, and what kind of sources we could use for the level of our students. And of course, we will do our best to improve learning outcomes of our students. So, formative assessment and evaluation focuses on the process and products of learning. Evaluation of an individual learner used to help individual improve performance, identification of areas for improvement, specific suggestions for improvement, develops thinking skills and helps students to be reflective learners. So what is it? It means that formative assessment could be used for each lesson, maybe for every lesson, in order to identify the knowledge of the students for each lesson. For example, we can use any kind of individual work, pay work, or group work, and of course, with making dialogues, we can see how they can speak well. So we can evaluate their speech, reading skills, writing skills. All the four skills can be included in this case. So these provide useful data, as we mentioned before, that teacher will see and watch how her students are getting their knowledge day by day and improving their knowledge. Summative assessment and evaluation. Actually, this kind of evaluation of an individual learner used for judgments or decisions about the individual, verification of achievement for individual, motivation of individual to maintain or improve performance, certification of performance, grades, and promotion. So, summative assessment is like assessment at the end of the term or the year. Here, the teachers will analyze what was gained by their students, what kind of level was gained, and of course, at the end, they will be graded and promoted. So, summative evaluation results provide both formative and summative information. For example, summative evaluation can be used formatively to make decisions about changes to instructional strategies, curriculum topics, or learning environment. And similarly, formative evaluation assist teachers in making summative judgment about students' progress and determining where further instructions is necessary for individuals. It means that assessment will not stop anyway. During the whole course, we will assess them by formative assessment, and at the end, it will be just proved with summative assessment. Summative assessment is sometimes referred to as assessment of learning, and formative assessment as assessment for learning. Just assessment, formative assessment, it means like our students will be assessed for learning. It means they will work on their knowledge, on their activities, and of course gain some kind of knowledge. And at the end, they will be assessed and checked the level of the gained knowledge. Types of assessment tool. So when a number of assessment tools are used in conjunction with one another, reaching more in-depth data collections results. So whatever method of data collection is used, teachers should meet with students regularly to discuss their progress, adjust rating criteria as learners change and progress. So it means that after each evaluation or assessment, teachers should, in a mild way, explain the shortage knowledge of her students, or just promote that students who gained the appropriate knowledge. So observations can be occurred during the students' daily practice of the four micro skills like reading, speaking, listening, and writing skills, and can be recorded as anecdotal and notes and on checklist of writing skills. So anecdotal records like notes written regarding students' language behavior or learning, and it could be like jokes, but in this case, just students will learn how to overcome their for example, maybe some kind of little problems related to the education of the languages. So documents and describe significant daily events and relevant aspects of students' activity and progress. So checklists. Here we can see that formative assessment is used because usually checklists usually complete while students are engaged in specific activities or progresses, a list of specific criteria that teachers focus on at a particular time or during a particular process. Here we can see that teacher may write down any kind of information about the activities of each student, and teachers and of course, in this case, teachers will be informed about where their instruction has been successful and where students need assistance or further instructions. So rating scales and rubrics. Rating scales record the extent to which the criteria have been achieved by the student or are present in the student's works. So it records the quality of the student's performance at a given time or within a given process. And rubrics include criteria that describe each level of the rating scale and are used to determine students' progress in comparison to the expectations. So here we can see the rating scale, rating scales like achieved, partially achieved, largely achieved, and just fully achieved. Here is given the description. There is little or no evidence of achievement of the defined attribute in the assessed process. So while we giving some kind of activities, teachers will evaluate the students with rating scales. So not all the students can achieve fully any kind of activity. That's why we need a rating scale in order to clarify how many percentage they could manage and to help them to improve this percentage for the further education. And types of rubrics. Here is given exemplary, proficient, acceptable, weak, and unacceptable. So in this case also the knowledge of the students is assessed. So portfolios, collections of relevant works that reflect students' individual efforts, development, and progress over a designated period of time. It could be like project works, independent works, and they all will be gathered in one, for example, file. Provide students and teachers and parents, of course, and administrators with a broad picture of each student's growth. So in this case, the real material could be seen how students could manage their learning progress and how they achieve their goals. Interviews and conferences are also like a type of assessment. In this case, teacher-student interviews or conferences are productive means of assessing individual achievement and needs. And interview questions can be developed to meet the needs of specific students and to fit the curriculum objectives. So here is also like in order to get the right information, teacher will work with each student individually and find out the shortage or the achievements of her students. For example, sample questions like which speaking, listening, and viewing activities did you participate in this week? Which did you enjoy, dislike, and why? And of course, with such kind of questions, students will explain their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings, and of course, at the end, teacher will clarify all answers and it will be clear for her how to have her students achieve more goals than they have right now at current time. So projects and presentations, criteria should be developed and or discussed with students at the outset of activities such as written reports, visual representations, oral presentations, or projects which combine more than one aspect of language use in understanding. So projects and presentations are really helpful for our students because they will work outside the classroom, they will work independently, and presentations will help our students like to overcome the problems of public speech. Quizzes, tests, and examinations. They are most often used for assessing students' knowledge of content, however, they may be used to assess process skills and attitudes. Here is the online sources. And I think that today's lesson was very informative for you. And goodbye and have a nice day.